Hey guys, it's Cole and Kelly again with the Bridge Group, and today we're doing part 2 of our How Listing Agents Miss the Mark. Okay, so today we're going to be going through a few examples of what we're talking about. And we wanted to point out exactly what we're talking about when it comes to agents in our first video. If you didn't watch that, watch part 1. But in our first video of how agents can be very cheap. We always hire the same professional photographers. It does not matter what property it is. They are out there. They are taking pictures. They know all the best angles. They don't do anything else other than real estate photography. They're not doing weddings on the weekend. Or baby showers or anything else like that. They only shoot real estate. So when it comes to the most flattering angles of the property, shots of the property, they know it and they take them, and it shows extremely well. We're going to show you a couple of the differences between what a professional photographer does and what a novice does, or what someone that has no business with a camera does on some of these listings. Let's get into it.
So this is a home that is in the Katy area. So I'm just going to kind of scroll through some of the photos.
This is $1 million property. So yeah, you can see shadows that you really don't want to see. It makes the house look like a cave, right? So the property is a little bit dated, and it definitely shows with the lack of light and the lack of professional photography. Now, you can have a professional photographer come in. This property isn't staged very well, but even if it's still in this current condition staging-wise, a professional photographer would completely change the way this looks. It'd be a lot more inviting. A lot more people would make an appointment, and they get a lot more views with a professional photographer. Now, number one, that should not ever happen. But, so when it comes to staging, we've seen a lot of just random rugs, entertainment systems with, trinkets everywhere. Really, that is not appealing. You don't like it. I don't like it. Most of the people that are looking in this market, whether they're local or whether they're coming in from out of state, are looking at your property first online. This is your first impression. You only have one, and that's where people make or break on the deal for your property. They decide to come see it or they don't. Okay, and lastly, I wanted to talk about angles. Now, I don't know the right angles, but a professional photographer, real estate photographer specific, does know the angles. It's dark. It doesn't show. It's massive spaces, so it seems like a big dark cave. The angles are the most unflattering angles that you could take of this property. Look at this. The entire butler pantry cut off the entire kitchen here. And so what are we supposed to be looking at here? It might seem like we're picking on these agents, and we absolutely are. The thing is that they should have never volunteered to sell this property. Even if it's their own property, they should have worked with a professional that knows the angles, is going to invest in their investment by hiring a photographer, a professional photographer, knowing how to stage the property, knowing the right angles, and ultimately getting a lot more people through the doors. This property could be shot in a completely different light and have a massive following, massive viewing, and actually probably a few more offers than it does right now. Okay, so we've done enough talking about the bad, right?
We could have chosen a lot more than that, right?
We really could have. Kelly had a lot more up there. Let's go ahead and talk about the good. Now, it's no surprise to mention this is a Bridge Group listing, obviously, and we actually just sold this property, and there's a lot more than just the pictures we want to talk about. The pictures actually sold this property. It was less than 7 days on market, and it went for $30,000 over asking price. Let's go ahead and go through some of these. Obviously, Kelly mentioned it before. If this is a lake lot property, you want that front and center. You can tell that we are on a lake. There's no back neighbors here, and this house absolutely looks like a castle.
And we have a twilight shot as some of our first shots because it gives it that nice warm glow, and you can imagine yourself driving up to your home in the evening time and just having that warm glow to it.
We also capture, the semicircle driveway. We capture, this is a newer property, so the roof is in great condition. That's something that buyers are looking for, especially whenever our properties are in that 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 square foot range. The roof on a 7,000 square foot property, it's going to be very expensive. That's what buyers are looking for. So we want to show it's in great condition. Okay, so this property, the sellers had already moved out of the property, and they wanted to get this property listed ASAP. So we have a solution to that, to where it both looks amazing and it's extremely creative and beneficial for the buyers. So it's called virtual staging.
And the great thing about that is that a lot of sellers will say, well, there actually is no furniture. So the buyer's going to be upset when they walk into a vacant property. And we've never actually had someone complain about that, because once they get there, they can imagine what their own furniture would look like in the property.
There's nothing in this office that's virtually staged. It's absolutely amazing.
It looks real.
How good of a job they do. But one thing that you'll notice is the angles, the nice bright white angles here, that it kind of gives, it doesn't look like a cave. And this is a 6,000 plus square foot house. It could absolutely look like a cave. All the lights are on, all the windows are open, as much natural light is coming in, and we have done our best to stage this house, even with nothing in it, to where it shows the absolute best.
So as you'll see, no expense is spared when it comes to marketing your property. Everyone is looking online, as Cole mentioned. Not to mention, we have a great video that we can show you as well that we did for this property, and that allows the buyer to really feel like they're walking through the property and like they already know it before they even arrive. So all this goes to show you that who you work with matters, how you market the property matters. We know that two things sell a home: one is price and one is exposure. So we talked a little bit more about price in the last video. If you want to have go back and take a look at that. This one is more about the exposure and the marketing of the property, and both are done very well, and we put a lot of time and energy into our sellers listings to make sure they get top dollar and it sells quickly. So if you have any thoughts of selling in the Katy or Houston area, we would love to help you. You can click the link below and find out what your property would sell for in today's market. Thanks, and we'll talk to you next time.